Dear General Kirby, I'm in receipt of your letter dated 8 September, in which you thank me for what you deem a most gracious and unstinted hospitality during your recent visit. I appreciate your gratitude and hasten to add that I esteem it my sacred duty and privilege to receive gentlemen such as yourself and your officers whenever you might be in Richmond. The Davis door is always open. The entire nation may come in and sit itself down before the fire, as it were. I deeply regret that my beloved husband was unable to be with us on that occasion, preoccupied as he is with the gathering confluence of seemingly unavoidable events at Harper's Ferry and Sharpsburg. He is much away from us, as you know, and this leaves the worrisome administration of all our domestic affairs to me. Thus, it becomes doubly important that I represent him in as affable and efficient a mode as can be managed under what you so well know to be arduous circumstances. Permit me then, as I did that evening, to assert a pride of place, and herewith offer reply to your polite but pointed chastisement of me and my dear friends, Mrs. Mary Chestnut and Miss Constance Carey, for having the audacity to hope we might partake actively in the discussion you and several of the President's cabinet members so vigorously shared after supping with us. It's clear to me that you cling to a conventional, which is to say, narrow and incurious, understanding of the female mind. Perhaps you even doubt the compatibility of those two words. Female, mind. I should like then to offer some trifling insight, which may someday be of use to you when skirmishing with others of my sex. For you and your ilk, women must bear in abject silence that which men may shout out loud for the entire world to hear or be damned. Women are called upon to endure, wordlessly endure, to shelter and protect our precious children, to shore up as best we can against a steadily rising tide of insult and bloody assault upon the very way of life we cherish, to usher y'all into the parlor, made warm and cozy through a woman's noblest ministrations, and then exit that room the very instant conversation turns away from the condescending and perfunctory, "Thank you, dear ladies, for the caps and mittens you knit, for the bundles of clothing scraps you miraculously managed to acquire, and fashion into stockings to warm the chilblained legs of our brave soldiers. And for these rare provisions you secure and set so daintily upon this table. You have done your part with customary grace and poise, and we salute you for it. Surely you cannot now wish to stay and listen to coarse men's talk."
Oh, man.
Listen? I have neither aptitude nor inclination to listen, sir. I would engage, provoke, as men may do, persuade. Of course, I would never suggest I know more about this war than you generals do. Only a deplorable buffoon would make such a ridiculous claim. But I would question and challenge, and, wonder of wonders, seek to advise. Listen, you say. Well, there would be a listening, of a sort. But it would be from y'all to me, I guarantee. I do not endure because I am meek and uninformed. I can set a table beautifully. But I'm an educated woman, sir. And I have experience in all practical matters that you have, save cartography and the sacred field of battle. Amen. But I have borne 6 children, sir. 6, General. And thrice as many migrations of household and family. I am so thoroughly accustomed to poverty and debt, a perpetual blue ruin not of my own doing, that it almost seems we share a common lineage. What, pray tell, would be your tally in those particular matters, General? In yourself, I mean, without aide-de-camp or couriers or battalions at your beck and call. I'm listening. I have pioneered. I have reconnoitered, as most women of my acquaintance must do every day of our lives, and all too often without a man at our side or money in our purse. Especially if the man in question is so profoundly committed to serving his people and their glorious cause. We knit those caps and mittens because we are waiting. It is how we serve. It is how we are permitted to serve. Duty and distance have kept my husband little short of a ghostly fragment with a mutable location, whose very death or destruction weighs upon me day and night while I keep disquiet to myself, listening during the unlighted morning hours to my own beating heart, tucked up in a lonely marriage bed divided by this holy conflagration. And all the while, I have endured, but not in silence. Never in silence. Truly, sir, I know not the mechanism for it. If Mr. Davis were here, he would affirm that most forcefully. I have no goddamn doubt. Do I offend? Very unladylike. I beg pardon and earnestly hope that you will bear these things in mind next time you and your confrere are in my home. I will cheerfully shake your hand, take your hat, sit you down, and inquire with customary grace and poise, would you care for some tea, or do you prefer coffee? I do so dearly regret that we have only boiled sweet potato peelings to offer as a substitute at the present time, and of course, no sugar. Those precious commodities are at the front lines with the menfolk and scarce. But conversation is not scarce in my household, good sir, nor is it exclusive. All may partake of it unstintingly. Those who wish to listen may do so without forfeiture and without reference to their sex. For those who evince no interest in reciprocal conversation or silence, there's a pianoforte and card games are available. Our library holds a gallery of handsome portraits and some very agreeable books of verse. There is even a slender, albeit somewhat outdated, volume on the topic of etiquette by Miss Emily Thornwell. Can you guess the title? It is The Lady's Guide to Perfect Gentility. As you may surmise, I have not read it myself. But it does boast a most consolatory cover. The lady who would guide us to perfect gentility reposes decorously upon a davenport beside a dainty plate of home-baked cookies. Kindly advise if you would like me to send you the volume. The index includes some marvelous, good old-fashioned recipes Mrs. Chestnut and Miss Carey might recommend. I'm sure your camp cook would love to replicate them. If he can. My sincere and very cordial wishes to your wife and daughters. Signed and witnessed, Lord help me, VARINA Howell Davis, Queen of SECESSIA.